Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the week of July the 20th through the 27th, 2025. Thanks for joining me. We can explore this together and see what's on board for all of us. Remembering that it's general, right? So it might not be for you. It may be for your friend, your mom, your dad. It may be for you as well. The sun sign is still in Cancer, that loving, home, loyal kind of energy that needs to nurture and needs nurturing. That will be changing to the cat, Leo, on the 23rd of this week. Now that's a fire sign, so we're going from a water sign, fluid, flexible, adaptable, to fire, which can consume if we're of the mind, or it can warm, it can protect, it can destroy. So how are we going to use that energy with each other? How are we going to use that energy in our life? That's something that we have to try to be conscious of. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Leo too, but it's going retrograde. So that offers us an opportunity to redo, rethink, reorganize, revamp, to look back in our lives and see what is it that I like, what is it I need to take away from this situation, how am I being taught by the universe, how should I receive this situation and work through it so that I become better when retro is over. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is in Gemini, and Gemini is the thinker, the curious energy, the one that wants to find out, the one that wants to understand, the one that wants to communicate. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so it will be very affected with Mercury in retrograde, because retrograde, we do have to be careful. We're going to make mistakes, silly mistakes. It can cost a life. It can be a car accident. It could be a plane accident. It could be a train. Travel is a very worrisome thing for me when Mercury, the planet of travel, is in retrograde. So I'm really careful. I'm careful of other people. I'm careful of myself. And I just prefer to feed the ducks and the geese if I could do it. And then Mars, the planet of our drive and our passion, that is still in Virgo. And that's going to allow us the opportunity to organize, to see what needs to be done, to want to clean things up, to get things in an order that is reasonable, logical, and easy to work with. This is a great time for us to look at our routines, and Virgo can help us say, are we wasting time? Now, if you're taking time, that's different than wasting time. So if you're trying to get your chores done and you're going back and forth and it's not necessary, Virgo will say, why don't you do this before you do this? And that would take half the steps away from you. So it's an opportunity to look around with open eyes and open mind and say, how could I do this better? Or do I just like the way it is and I'll keep it this way? So it's an opportunity to change things up for the better if that's what we would like to do. And again, that's up to us, right? You have to look at your own life to see, is this working for me? And if it is, what about it is working for me? What do I want to, how do I want to approach this? And am I conscious of these things when I'm doing my work? For instance, I'm just going to take myself. When I'm doing my chores and I'm feeding the ducks and the chickens, and I've got the dogs eating in their kennels, and there's that moment, do I rush through it? Or do I look at it and say, I just want to stand here for a minute and spread the corn just a little bit further so there's no bird fights? Because I have very, very aggressive chickens right now. This new batch of chickens are little monsters. And so I have to be very careful. I have to be conscious of where I'm feeding the little ducks and the little ducklings and the little chickens that these big 5-month-old teenage hens don't murder, like literally murder. So I have to be careful with that. Conscious, present, observational, looking to see, am I throwing the grain in a place that could be dangerous for the little guys? Trusting me. They're trusting me. And am I throwing it in a place that can lure them to a bad place for themselves? So it's about doing things in the present moment, being here now. And that's what we're being offered right now, especially with the retrograde. And the trust that is given to us by our animals as their guardians puts a different slant to it. So many times I'll see people do things without thinking. Walking a dog on hot pavement. Dog's tongue is hanging down to their knees. They're on the phone. Or maybe they're not on the phone. Maybe they're just someplace else. They're not here. I'll look at the dog and I'll say, look at how tired that dog is. Look at, your dog is just this side of heat stroke. Oh, well, he always pants. That's not panting what's happening there. We have the spoon effect at the end. The tongue is curled at the very end. Your dog is lagging. His eyes are glassy and they're oblivious. I work with the vets. The people don't train their dogs. What they do is they got a lab, and they got a teenage lab that's just bouncing, burning up with energy, and they don't direct it. And then they go to the vet and want some medication to calm the dog down so that they can live with the dog on their terms. Not the animal's terms, their terms. And then I stand and I wonder, what is in our head? What are we wondering? What are we as far as a culture that has to give psychotropic drugs to our pet animals to calm them down to fit in our life, instead of looking to see what are the needs of that pet? What does that pet need that I could give them? Structure, maybe. Exercise, not mindless exercise, throwing the ball till the dog is tired but spun. But maybe something with a point to help maybe cement or keep that relationship going. What do our friends need? What do our relatives need? What does the person on the street standing there on that corner need that hasn't been fulfilled? It's amazing to me. I'm not putting myself above anybody. I just want you to understand that. I'm just an observer of life. But I never cease to get amazed at the obliviousness of our species. How we can be standing next to a person and not feel, understand, or know what's going on inside of them. And the vibration of the world right now, our globe, our planet, is changing to such a degree that we're being gifted with the opportunity to be more sensitive. That doesn't just mean crying. It means being more sensitive to what's going on, being more aware, more compassionate, feeling what they're feeling. So we're being offered that opportunity to do that. Health vulnerabilities this week. The beginning of the week, if you're vulnerable in your shoulders, your arms, your bronchial tubes, your lungs, we are going to have issues with that. Now, that's not just because of the fires and the ozone level. This is also a zodiac thing. So if you're weak in that area, take special care to watch over that. And then towards the end of the week, it can be the heart, the aorta, your blood pressure, your blood circulation. So if you're vulnerable in those areas, pay attention. Your body is trying to talk to you. Your body is trying to communicate with you and let you know what it needs and how you can help it be a body that serves you well and with quality. Who doesn't want to be healthy? And sometimes our body is willing to be healthy even though we're ill. And animals too, they want to be healthy. They don't have compensation and they don't get money for being sick or not showing up to work. They everything in them wants to survive and be healthy. So they know to lick and chew on willow bark. Go up to a willow tree and start chewing on the leaves and chewing on the bark. That's aspirin. They know to start, I see all of them chewing on the ragweed right now. People are saying, oh, he just eats weeds, but that's a ragweed. And that helps serve him to avoid allergies. So it's a very potent anti-allergy medication. And they just get the tips, the tops of the leaves. I've never seen them go to the bottom of the leaves. So they know. But that's because they listen to their body, which we refuse to do now. I don't know why, but we just do. The energy field of where the zodiac signs are right now, if you look at Leo the cat, and the pride of cats, they give to each other. They don't, they will communally hunt. So they each take a job in hunting and bringing down the prey. They share their food. Now, their table manners are very different than ours. You might get a claw on the head if you go too close to somebody. But the males will steal the carcass because they're bigger and they can. But they will share that carcass with the cubs and keep the lioness, which is what took the beast down in the first place. They won't share that until they're willing to or they're satisfied and the cubs have eaten it. So it is family. The male lion will kill other cubs that aren't his, but he will nurture his. So there's a hierarchy of how we behave at the table. Bigger wins, or sometimes smaller under the guardianship of bigger wins. How does that translate to your life right now? How does it translate to your job? This is going to take some thought, and we're supposed to think because of the retrograde. That's what we are supposed to be doing right now. I want to share a story with you very quickly. I could go on for a bit, but it's a story that Katharine Hepburn shared when she was young. They were going to the circus, the family, and back in those years, you guys are probably a lot younger and don't remember. I remember the edge of the Depression, where there was just nothing. I mean, there was nothing. By your standards, by the generation now, wow, you'd never survive it. So they were going to the circus, her dad and her brothers and sisters. And this family was ahead of them. They had 8 children, and she could see that the parents just loved each other, and those 8 children were very clean. Their clothes were very, very clean. So it showed the attention. They were poor, very poor, but it showed the attention that the parents gave to the kids. They did what they could. They had poor clothes, but they were clean and well attended. And the kids had manners, and they were just vibrating with happy, going to the circus to see the animals, to see the acts, just to be off the farm. And then they got to the ticket booth, and the fella told them how much it would be for 2 adults. And the woman and the man were holding hands, 2 adults and 8 children. And when he told them how much it was, the woman dropped the man's hand, knowing they didn't have that kind of money. And the man, you could see the tension, she said, knowing that they were going to have to turn to their kids and say they couldn't go to the circus. And those kids were so looking forward to it. Katharine Hepburn's father saw that, and he took a 20 out of his pocket. He dropped it surreptitiously on the ground and picked it up and touched the father and said, "I think you dropped this. This fell out of your pocket." That man knew he didn't have that 20. There was no doubt back then. And their eyes met hard and loving and caring and proud and respectful. And he said, "Thank you." And he pressed that 20 into his hand. And he took those kids to the circus. Catherine's dad and her sisters and brothers turned around and didn't go in, because that was the $20 bill that was going to pay for their circus experience. And Catherine said that that day she learned the true value of giving. And I've always found that too, that the giver, when people allow me to give, to offer, and they receive, it makes me greater as the giver. It fills me up. It puffs me up. Not in a arrogant way, in a full way, in a loving way, in a way that I can't explain. So, if you want to be great, greater than life itself, we have to learn to give. Loving has nothing to do with what we expect to get, only with what we expect to give, which should be everything. And I have friends that would give me everything as I would give to them. The importance of giving and blessing others, I can't overstate that, because there's always joy in it. There's such joy in being able to offer something, to be of value to that person, to be able to give them something. To be asked for a favor, for a chat, is such an honor. So with where the planets are right now in the vibrational sequence of our planet, we are tasked right now to learn to make somebody happy through the act of giving. You may never get repaid for that, but you will be immediately just by the feeling. And we need to pay attention. We need to look and see what's around us, to really see. To see each other, to see what's going on, to be in tune with the emotions of other people, our animals, our people, our friends, people we don't know, the people standing next to you at Costco. What are others feeling? What's their energetic field in the emotional field and the mind? What's the universe trying to teach us right now? What in this moment, at this second, in this time, in this place, is the universe trying to teach us? And that is what we're being tasked with right now. That is what the universe is asking us to pay attention. Be present. Be in the moment. Be aware. What can I do for this other person that maybe they haven't said anything? I am aghast. Because I live with animals, I have to pay attention. If I don't pay attention, I'm going to fall over somebody. I'll step on somebody. I'll squash a duckling. Somebody's sick and they won't see it. Somebody's limping. I've seen where in the bush where dogs pick up a thorn and their owners don't even see. And this dog is like 3-legged and they don't see it. And I go, oh, come here, let me take that out. Well, how did you see that? How did you not? Because we're not there. I don't know where we are, but we're not there. We need to be there. So that's your job this week. Be there. Show up. It doesn't have to be big. It can be tiny. Tiny. It could be just locking eyes with somebody. I have a friend that recognized I was stressed. And I was stressed, but I tried to show it. And I'm pretty good at getting through these things. But he saw it. And I didn't realize that he saw it till after, when I got to kind of go over everything in my mind. And that shook me in a good way. That there are people that are aware. There are people that can interact with other people non-verbally, energetically, emotionally. And we are tasked to do that. That's our next evolutionary step, is attraction, the law of making things happen with your head and your mind and your thought. And you tag that with feeling, that's jet fuel. And that's where we're supposed to be going. And animals are our teachers. They are the ones that will teach us how to be if we just open up and let that lesson shower down on us. So you guys have a great week. Keep that in the back of your mind this week, maybe for the rest of your life. I do. I try. And see where it takes you. See where the universe is going to take you. And on that note, talk about giving. Charlie O'Brien gives to us his time, his energy, to put us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. And he does that out of the goodness of his heart. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Charlie, for doing that. And if any of you need a reading for yourself, for your animals, for a friend, feel free to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. Love everybody. Be kind to everybody, and have a great week. Squeeze all that goodness that you're going to receive out of this week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.